Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is TamezTech and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be checking out a Shadow Charizard in the Jungle Cup. Now, am I a fan of the Jungle Cup? Absolutely not. Am I excited for it to leave forever and never play it again until whenever it comes back? Absolutely yes. But anyways, we are going to be checking it out today. Shadow Charizard is a very interesting pick for this meta. And as you can see, we are pairing it with a Dedenne lead and a GUZZLORD save swap. Honestly, if I have to pick my favorite Pokemon out of this team, I would probably say it's GUZZLORD. I had a lot of fun with GUZZLORD, and honestly, it's a pretty decent save swap. As you can see, I am running Brutal Swing Dragon Claw. Most people are running Brutal Swing Sludge Bomb. But I just felt like Dragon Claw was a little bit better to take care of any Altaria save swaps, like into our GUZZLORD, of course. And honestly, most of the time, the threat of a Sludge will force energy from my opponent early. So if I can do that, then I usually just set up my Dedenne to farm down afterwards. But regardless, let's get into these battles. Welcome back to the channel. I know I've been gone for a few days now. But yeah, we're going to see a Scizor lead on the first match. And honestly, this is not a terrible lead. We can force both shields here, and I would be looking to pivot out of here. My opponent actually does make a pretty decent play, though. They usually should just go for the Trailblaze here, since that is the only way they can win the 2-shield scenario. I mean, the 1-to-2 shields. But they bait a Night Slash. So them baiting this Night Slash means that I don't have to shield this move. But it does get a little bit scary, right? Because they can just no-shield this Parabolic. And their Scizor has practically neutralized our Dedenne. Quagsire comes in, so I'm going to instantly pivot into my GUZZLORD. They bring in a Gyarados, which is an amazing bait out for us. Oh my god, this Pokemon is so scary for Charizard. So thank god we were able to bait this out. And we do wall Gyarados' moveset. The Dragon Breaths are going to be chunking quite a bit, but the charge moves themselves don't really threaten much. Quagsire comes in and they instantly throw this Aqua Tail, which I feel like it's a misplay because it's not really going to knock out. So pretty decent for us. We can get a little bit of chip and dip here. We can pivot into our Charizard, and at this point, I think I just have to go for the double Air Cutter. I know Air Cutter might not knock out, but I'm hoping that my Dedenne and my GUZZLORD can get maybe 1 or 2 fast moves through. Yeah, we should be getting to this Air Cutter under charge attack priority. So let's see if this is enough to knock out. This is Shadow on Shadow, so you know what? Maybe I should be a little more trustworthy on my Charizard here. Because, yeah, that will actually pick up the knockout. So that's pretty decent for us. But, yeah, it was a little bit scary there. On to the next battle here. We got the Dedenne lead into Dunsparce. A very scary Pokemon for this team to see. Especially if it's not on our GUZZLORD. So I'm just going to be over farming quite a bit here. I try to throw him a Play Rough, as you can see. And the game forces an overtap. I was talking to members of my Discord and of my Twitch channel. And a lot of people were saying that the game feels very unstable at the moment. A lot of overtaps, a lot of one-turn lag and stuff like that. You're actually going to be able to see a very criminally sad game that we're going to play today. So yeah, we'll see that along the video. But we are able to make the catch on our Dedenne. We chipped this Dunsparce quite a bit, so I'm hoping it won't be a threat. And like I said before, Togekiss comes in. We threaten the Sludge, so we force energy early. And I feel like GUZZLORD has done its job, unfortunately. I mean, we catch, we sneak, we kind of sack it, and now we can set up the Dedenne once again into this Togekiss here. So we can go for 4 Thunder Shocks and then the move. I wasn't super confident of who won the cap tie there, so I didn't really want to risk it. But they do let the Togekiss go, and it is a Scizor in the back, and honestly, that is amazing for us. We should be able to just bring in the Charizard here, farm the Scizor all the way down. They should have been at 2 right after our Dedenne came in, so they shouldn't be able to get to another Night Slash. They shouldn't get to 2 Night Slashes here. They bring in the Dunsparce. That's a desperate hope, but unfortunately for them, it is not meant to be. And that is a GG. On to the next game here. So you can see my game isn't starting. So I'm a little bit confused here. And then we were thrown into the game, and the game has started for a minute already. We are so far behind. We are about an entire charge move behind. Their Clodsire was just tapping and tapping until I came back into the game. And yeah, this is looking pretty awful for us. They actually bring in Greninja, which is so weird. I mean, I don't understand why they would do this. This is like, GUZZLORD is probably the hardest counter into Greninja here. But regardless, we are able to force their energy, force a shield, and maybe we can come back from this game. I really hope so. This is looking pretty bad for us already. As you can see, we only got 4 Thunder Shocks through with our Dedenne, but that Clodsire actually got like 9 Poison Stings in, since they threw an Earthquake into our Clodsire. So yeah, very unfortunate stuff there. We bring in Charizard, and we did set up Charizard properly, even though we've had a pretty terrible game already. So we have our 2-shield Charizard into the world. So let's see what we can do here. Clodsire no shields to Blast Burn, which is pretty good. We're able to Cap Tie on the Air Cutter here. So our Charizard is dry, but let's see what they have in the back, and it's a Meowscarada. So we're actually able to marginally escape with this win. Very, very close game. But I'm going to say we deserve that one for being so far behind there. All right, we see a Thievul lead in the next match, and I just wanted to showcase this game to showcase how terrible I can be at this game. I haven't been playing Pokemon Go for about 4 or 5 days at this point, so I'm a little bit rusty. I let this jump bluff get to double Aerial Ace. I shouldn't have shielded one of these. I could have easily survived. But now I have to farm up to 100 energy and just full send the Blast Burn. I know they're not going to shield this. I know Jump Bluff has put in way more work than it should have, and way more work than I should have let it. I will bait here with my Charizard and then bank a Blast Burn and pivot into my Dedenne. But just being shields down against this Thievul is going to be a little bit tricky for us, because Thievul does learn Play Rough, and that will definitely one-shot our GUZZLORD. Unfortunately, it is a Clodsire in the back, so I feel like if we had at least 1 shield still for our GUZZLORD, this game would have been a win. But now that we're shields down, it's going to be a little bit tricky. I go for the Parabolic just to, I don't know, be able to stall the time clock a little bit longer, maybe force some energy from them. Play Rough does do a little bit more damage, but of course, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I do concede this farm down because I don't want to be, you know, switch locked. My opponent brings in Thievul, and I make another misplay here. I throw the Dragon Claw. I was thinking maybe just bank a bunch of energy and dip, but now I bring in Charizard, and I don't throw my energy. So I really don't know what my game plan is here, but at this point, I just have to fully farm this Thievul down and have energy ready for the Clodsire, but the Clodsire has plenty of energy from the Dedenne matchup, so this is just going to be a GG. Honestly, it was a pretty close game, even with my misplays, but I played that so bad. I'm going to take full responsibility for this atrocious gameplay that I sinned and committed on stream. My opponent actually goes for a Stone Edge there, which gave me a little bit of hope. I guess they're trying to throw the game as hard as I have, but unfortunately, it is not meant to be for us, so we are going to lose that game. On to the next battle here, we got Dedenne into Dedenne. So this is a pretty nice matchup. You're actually supposed to go straight for Play Rough. A lot of people didn't know that when Dedenne first came out and was being so meta. People were going for the Parabolic, just, you know, boosting their defense and whatnot. So I'm just going to go straight for the Play Rough here. As you can see, it does a lot of damage. It puts the opposing Dedenne into Parabolic charge range. So that is pretty decent for us. I debated shielding there because honestly, I mean, it might have not been the worst idea to keep my Dedenne around after we land the Play Rough, but I don't want to go shields down with a Shadow Charizard in the back, so I'm just going to bring in, I'm just going to leave my Dedenne here, and honestly, I'm just going to bank a Parabolic and bring in the GUZZLORD. My opponent has a Ferrothorn in the back, and then they bring a Claydol into my GUZZLORD? Question mark? I really don't know what the game plan was here. I feel like maybe my opponent would have had a slightly better chance at winning the game if they just stayed in with the Ferrothorn. I know all their moves are resisted, but Dragon Tail has pretty much no fast move pressures there, so yeah, very confusing gameplay by my opponent. They actually shield the first Brutal Swing to get the Rock Tomb debuff off, but we should be able to outpace to this Brutal Swing before they get another Rock Tomb, so I really just don't know what the game plan is here. Now we've stripped both of their shields. We have a Shadow Charizard in the back line, ready to just destroy everything. We have 2 shields here. I'm gonna CMP Sack Swap with my Dedenne, and yeah, my opponent just sees no win con there, and that's gonna be a GG for them. But yeah, All right, we see a Wigglytuff in the lead, and I am thinking this is probably double ground in the back. I make a crucial error here. I stay in with my Dedenne, let this Piloswine get a bunch of energy for no reason, and throw the Play Rough. This really does absolutely nothing for me because I still can't farm down with Charizard. My only saving grace here is that my opponent miscounts with Charizard, and I'm able to force a shield before they get their move off. So pretty decent for us. Now I am going to double shield my Zard here and just get a full farm down. I should be coming out of this matchup with an Air Cutter, which is pretty decent. But yeah, a little bit of a misplay there, just bringing in the... I should have brought in the Charizard right away, of course. Piloswine is just a little bit of a scary Pokemon. We're able to land the Blast Fern onto the Wiggly though, so we fully knock it out right away. So maybe we can get back into this game, but it's looking a little bit dire. We see a Diggersby come in, and honestly, this is looking pretty good. GUZZLORD has a pretty decent matchup here. My win con at this point is instantly pivoting into my GUZZLORD, but I don't. And once again, my misplays might be costing us a game here. If I just instantly pivot into GUZZLORD, I feel like we still have a pretty decent chance at winning this game. We still have, you know, a decent amount of health on Charizard. We can get an Air Cutter. We could have banked the Air Cutter or something. But now this Diggersby has so much energy that, yeah, we're kind of in trouble. Right here, I was watching for a catch, but then Axon raided our Twitch stream. So I got really excited and distracted, and yeah, I couldn't watch for the catch. I just didn't really care at that point. And unfortunately, they do get the catch of the Dragon Claw, which, to be fair, they didn't really have to do. But my opponent is playing this obnoxiously well, so unfortunately we're not really going to have much of a win con here other than a catch. Our opponent waits the turn, of course, because why wouldn't they? I'm just going to go for the Parabolic here in hopes that I could survive a Scorching Sands and get to a second Parabolic. But yeah, we're just a little bit too low here. Maybe if we had about 75% HP, we could get there. But it is, once again, not meant to be, and it is completely my fault. So on to the next game here. We actually see a Mightyena lead, which is pretty good for us. But check this out. I'm going to throw my Parabolic instantly. And the game's going to do something really funny. Actually, this is one of the funniest things the game could do. At this point, I feel like the game is over, right? The game just lagged out. We're, you know, cooked, whatever. I turn on my Wi-Fi, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. I try to do everything I can to like fix the game, but it's really not working. So everyone in chat is like, oh, okay, GG's, like fix the game, whatever. And all of a sudden, for some very, very strange reason, you're gonna see in a second here, the same thing that happened in the last game with Clodsire happened this game. My opponent just fully farms down our Dedenne because they realize that we're not in the game anymore. So they take full advantage of that. Of course they do. And yeah, now we're in a very, very tricky position. GUZZLORD has a pretty decent matchup here against Mightyena. They snipe us with Wigglytuff though, and this is just not enough. You know, Charizard, it really can't take all this fast move pressure. I throw an alignment there. We get the one turn bring in, of course. So that's on us. Thankfully, we don't really take that charm because Blast Burn knocks out. But there's a Steelix in the back, dude. And honestly, I mean, this would have been a super RPS game in our favor. Not that I'm super proud of that or anything, but man, like this would have been an insanely easy game for us to win. And yeah, our opponent just took advantage of the game breaking on us. So GG's, I guess. All right, we see Greninja in the lead in the next match. And honestly, my GUZZLORD would love to see this. But at the same time, my Charizard is completely terrified of it. So I am going to let this Hydro go, which might have been a misplay, to be honest. That does quite a lot of damage. But I don't want to let my opponent play this out exactly highlight one, right? My opponent brings in a Scizor, so we are able to outpace here with the GUZZLORD. I do have to try throw on bad timing here, mostly to guarantee that I will get this shield. But this Scizor can throw a move, and they're still not going to be able to farm down before I get another Brutal Swing. So honestly, this is a pretty decent spot for me to be in. So I will be able to get to the second Brutal Swing here, force their second shield, and now it's 2 shields Charizard against the world, right? So we bring in the Zard. We should be able to Ember this thing down. We will have to double shield in this matchup, which is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, the Scizor does have a move, so we have to keep that in mind. The Altaria comes in, and this is getting a little bit scary. If it was Shadow Altaria, we would be able to knock out with double Blast Burn. but it isn't. So I actually pivot into Dedenne for some energy. I wish I would have pivoted instantly, of course, to actually outpace. But now I'm going to go for the Blast Burn and hope that I can get to the back-to-back air cutters, or that the Caesar tries to make a funny play and I just farm it all the way down. My opponent actually lets me get to this air cutter, so if I can knock out this Altaria instantly, the Caesar can't really do much against us, so that's going to be a GG. But yeah, a little bit scarier than it should have been there. I could have played that a little bit more efficiently. We do take the game regardless, but yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Another Dedenne mirror, and once again, I'm just going to throw the play rough right away. I'm a little bit scared of a catch in this matchup, but I don't think I can risk it. And yeah, there's the catch. My opponent makes an amazing catch into Cradily. You could have argued that I should have overfarmed here a little bit, but I really don't want my Zard into that Dedenne. Even down energy, I can land a play rough into that Dedenne if I have to. So I just want to bring in my GUZZLORD here, give it the use that I can give it, because that fairy type, aka Dedenne, is completely walling my moveset here. So even if I lose this matchup, I can kind of bait my opponent to bring back in their Dedenne. So I'm just going to throw this Brutal Swing here on the Captai. My opponent throws their Rock Tomb right away. So yeah, at this point I'm thinking, you know what? This is kind of a perfect Thundershock down here. So I will just Thundershock down this Cradily. We're still not quite in play rough range. I should be able to get to one more play rough here. And I'm going to no-shield this to bait my opponent into no-shielding as well. But my opponent actually baits us. So they throw the Parabolic, and again, that's really decent for us. I can land this play rough, which still does an obnoxious amount of damage. And we can threaten another Parabolic landing on them. So they throw another Parabolic just to force our Dedenne to go down. Now, unfortunately for us, this Dedenne is quite tanky, so I don't throw the Air Cutter right away. I know the Air Cutter's not going to knock out yet, so there's really no point in throwing it. I throw once I get to the back-to-back to kind of force my opponent to let this go, because they do have to. And in the back is a Greninja, so I'm really needing this Air Cutter to boost me, but if it doesn't, which it doesn't, unfortunately we're not going to be able to win this game, and you're going to see just how close this game was. This Blast Burn does barely not enough damage. Honestly, that might have been IV dependent. Maybe my opponent has a really decent spread on their Greninja, but very close game there. Very unfortunate for us. All right, we see Corviknight in the lead in the next match, and honestly, this is really good for us. Dunsparce comes in, so I'm just going to bank a little bit of energy here and bring in my GUZZLORD. I really don't need switch advantage against that Corviknight, so if we do lose this matchup, as long as Dunsparce is really close to getting knocked out, we should be in the clear here. So I'm going to go straight for the Dragon Claw on the Captai. And I still don't get knocked out by a second Drill Run here, so I am completely fine. I will throw my Brutal Swing as soon as I get it, and my opponent does let me get there. They don't fall for the Charge Attack tie once again. They are shielding this though, so they want to farm us all the way down, but they realize they can't because GUZZLORD is such a tanky Pokemon. The HP stat on this thing is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, we bring in Dedenne into the Dunsparce. I don't really feel like shielding this very much, but I kind of have to, so a little bit of fortunate there. I really should have thrown my energy earlier to like avoid using my shield there and keeping it for my Zard, but regardless, we bring in Dedenne. We're able to knock that out. Cradily comes in, and I make another mistake. I really shouldn't be throwing this energy here. One Blast Burn will knock out Cradily anyways, so giving this Cradily the 2 acid head start that it needs to really do some damage against Charizard is a very big misplay by me. My opponent though, they actually stay in with Cradily to force to force our shield out, and then they bring in the Corviknight. I'm guessing Corviknight might have miscounted here because they don't even throw the Air Cutter. Maybe they were committing to the payback, I'm not sure, but I feel like landing the Air Cutter there regardless would have put us into acid down range. So yeah, a little bit of a misplay by my opponent there, but we are able to take that final game of the day. Once again, honestly, I can't say I've been super inspired to make fun teams for the Jungle Cup. This cup is so polarizing at this moment, and honestly, it just feels a little bit boring. I enjoyed Fantasy Cup quite a bit, so hopefully we get some more metas like that, you know, kind of force people to use fun Pokemon. Because even though Alolan Dugtrio is pretty RPS, it is a fun Pokemon. Regardless though, that will be the last battle of today. I really do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am cooking up another video to show to you guys today, so keep an eye out on the YouTube. If you do want to check out my socials, I do have a link down below in the description, so you can follow me on Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff. You can also join my Discord server if you want to hang out and talk about, our Pokemon and other fun things. Like, I'm actually in the process of building a new computer right now so I can make better videos and stream at better quality and whatnot. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, and bye bye.